Welcome back, guys, to the weekly recap
Isn't
show.
it time for the McRib to come back,
Oh
or
my
or
gosh.
is that
Oh,
not?
it's been back, Jacob.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just kidding.
okay.
I have no idea.
And welcome back, guys, to the weekly
Brady's
recap
the
show.
best guest so far because he actually participates with us.
And
True.
Yeah.
welcome back, guys, to the weekly recap show.
How many times can we get Caleb to say and? Welcome.
And here we go. I think we can do at least another time.
Nah, I don't want to do it again. This week we're going to be
Okay,
going
so
over...
that means that we need to talk about more fast food.
Okay, I will do it again then, because you did that. Welcome back, guys, to the weekly recap show. This is episode 36 that we're going over, which is the first part of our chapter finale. Extremely exciting for us. We were going to split it into 3 parts, but it looks like we're going to be getting all of our parts done with this Sunday. This Sunday we will be doing a long stream, like a 5 to 6 hour stream to end off our chapter 1 finale, and we'll be doing it in person, so it's going to be awesome to see all these guys again. Just playing how we started.
Not you, Zach.
Not Zach. Zach will be watching as a moderator, as always. Speaking of which, Zach is on here again, as always.
Hi.
We've got Brady on this week because he had some
Hello.
interesting things happen to him this week on the show. And we've got
Guys,
Jacob,
no
our
joke.
DM.
Brady got me close to crying. Brady got me close. I was
Oh,
like,
man.
dang.
That was the
he's doing
goal.
some
That was the goal.
Just good work.
And then me. I'm here. Let's jump into this. We've got episode 36 we're talking about. So basically, this is the tournament. If you guys did not know, this is how we're going to be finishing chapter 1. We are still in Amman, or I guess we were still in Amman. It's about an hour south of Amman by travel. And
It took you guys a day to get there. It's a day travel to get there.
it's about a day south of Amman travel. In Amman, we pretty much just got ready. We had ended off the last episode last week with pretty much nothing. Last week was a filler episode. It was getting us kind of like, we had a lot of stuff going on. We needed to have a filler episode where we just kind of tied some loose ends. So we tied up some loose ends in Amman. We most likely will not be in Amman for much longer. Damn it, Zach.
Sorry.
We won't. Most likely,
You
we'll be
better not
moving
have the thing
on.
that must not be named.
I don't.
We will
I
be
don't go outside.
moving
so
on
all right.
from
That's a
Amman
fair point.
because a lot of our stories are going to be moving across the ocean to over to Vasselheim, starting in
You
chapter
remembered
2.
the name.
I did. I just don't know the sea, but
The Osmond Sea.
is it the Osmond Sea? Okay. I didn't want to say that and have it be like a different sea.
You'd be like, Caleb's an idiot. He doesn't know what sea.
Starting off in this episode, we had us all start traveling down south. I don't know if we actually did anything or if anyone needed to do anything when we first started. I think we just kind of prepped some stuff. Started traveling south. It was only a day's travel. Jacob kind of skipped the travel because there's no reason to go through all that.
It's one of the most boring part of D&D when you get high level is the travel.
Yeah, unless
Especially
there's...
when people don't have teleportation spells yet.
Yep. I almost do. I'm 1 level off of having travel by plant, which means I can travel by any plant I've ever seen. So that's going to be nice. But basically, yeah, so we travel down through like some marshes, like some swampy land. Kind of just did our thing. I got some more mushrooms on my way. Brady got the tongue of one of the stone wizard heads that he had taken during our Medusa fight, and got a couple.
Worth it.
Yes, and got a couple extra spells because he has a book that where you nail a tongue to it. We'll talk about that in a sec because I don't think we've ever brought that up. He's got a tome that allows you to do that. So, yeah, and then we got to an Onoa, which is a shout out to one of the one-shots that we have, which is being turned into a mini-series right now. I'm working on it. Episode 1 is coming out this week, right around the same time as this episode. So, but yeah, Onoa is a one-shot that Michael ran. We're heading down there for the tournament as well. And so we get to an Onoa, and we have to sign in and everything. We have all of our magical items scanned, and then we head on into the city, and Where did we stay then? Did we stay the night outside the city, or did we stay the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, you stayed. You camped out before you got to the city,
And
and
then
when
we
you
did
got to
our
the city,
test.
the competition started.
Okay, yeah. So we got to the city, and we were the final ones to get there. The first thing we had to do was go through our tests, which puts us into placement for the tournament. It also, if your group were to fail it, then they would not be part of the tournament overall. So all of us ended up going through. We had Zygon going in for charisma-based one. We had myself. I actually went in for Constitution with an amulet that Lochnar gave me because Abby's character Thea also has wisdom as her main thing. So she
Without that amulet, you would have gotten trashed.
Yes, 100%.
Like a goblin.
Yes.
Like a goblin.
I would have made it, but it wouldn't have been as good as I did. Thea ended up getting the wisdom one. Anzu got intelligence, my god. Braun got dexterity, and Lochnar got strength. We started off the day with Braun, which ended up being an obstacle course. He ended up getting through it in record time compared to the rest of the tournament people, which puts us up there. So like the way Jacob has it is certain placements will put you higher, so it'll work like kind of like a draft. So like first place will go versus last place, second place, like, and so on. So we all wanted to do our best on the whole thing.
He means a bracket, not a draft.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Caleb's not big into sports. Forgive him.
I watch 2 sports, but anyway.
And one of them soccer.
Yes.
Hey, don't watch it. Watch it.
I just said one of
Watch
them
it.
soccer. Holy cow! Calm down. Someone's a little defensive about his foot sport.
Watch
The
it.
second thing that we had, I believe, was Lochnar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
He
sounds right.
did the strength test, which was a boulder thing where he had to pick up a small boulder, put it on a pedestal, go back, pick up a bigger boulder, put it on a pedestal, and so on. I believe he beat everyone in his group as well.
Barely.
There was another Goliath in his bracket as well, and because Goliaths from different groups don't get along very well with each other, there was a little bit of drama there. The next one to go was Hunter. Was that not what it was?
I would say there wasn't drama. It was more of like old guy respecting young guy.
Oh, no.
Lochnar thought it was a lot worse than it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is there was drama for him. But, like, that's nothing for...
I mean, Lochnar drama is much different from actual drama.
But
Let's be
it's still
serious.
some drama. But then we headed over and did...
Thea was next.
Thea next. She did the wisdom one. Basically...
Which was probably the hardest one of the entire group.
Yeah, the wisdom one was not dice-based, as well as intelligence. Both of those were things that Jacob asked them
And
off.
charisma.
I haven't gotten to charisma yet.
You haven't gotten to intelligence yet either.
Intelligence is next after wisdom. So Anzu went next. He had some... he had to go through doing some riddles for Jacob. There were 5 riddles.
Those were awesome riddles.
Those were awesome. He
Heck
got
yeah,
all. He
those
ended
were.
up with some help and some hints. He got some. He got with all the help of everyone in this group, and Jacob.
And everybody taunting him.
He got all 5 right eventually, and then there was myself, who I did the Constitution, which was I had to stand on the top of a pole with 5 other people on top of their poles, and we got magic blasted at us for hours on end before we fell. I was the second to last to fall, so I did end up doing well.
Against Starvane.
Starvane, the GIF, the large hippo man. So I'm gonna actually have a conversation.
They're all gonna be food based. I'm just telling you, if there's more GIF, they're all food based.
GIF should not be this common. Okay, just want to point that out.
My world, not yours. Shut up.
Zygon had the last.
Also, kobolds shouldn't live in a society, but there weren't there?
Yeah, because it's Onoa, and that's a society for the outcast.
If I want giant hippo men and women, I'm gonna have them. Gosh, dang it.
And last was Zygon's, where he went through, he had to basically convince a jury that a man who stole a healing potion to save his wife's life was innocent. And Brady gave a very good, very touching speech to the jury.
I would like to point out that like I think that was the longest string of words Brady has said in the entirety of the stream.
Yeah, because in one section, yes.
Yeah, Zygon's pretty quick to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he ended up passing that one absolutely amazingly. The only person to fail was Thea. Hers was the question.
Wow, gotta bring that up.
This was I have to. It's a recap. Hers had the classic question. This is a question that's been asked before, but not a lot of people have actually heard of it at the same time. So it was, there was a person in the middle, and that person either lied or only told the truth. And there were two doors, and you could ask this person one question, and if you...
It has to be a yes or no question.
It has to be a yes or no question, and then you pick one of the doors after you ask them the question, and based on the question. And then if you pick the right door, you're right. If you pick the wrong door, you're wrong. And that's it. But yeah, we ended up all, other than Thea getting through our quests, we will go over them right now, but that was pretty much the recap. And now we are... After Zygon had given such a great testimony to this man who saved his wife with a healing potion, we ended the stream.
So I will say, you guys are not the number 1 seed in the tournament.
I didn't think we would be.
You guys are number 2.
Because Thea didn't pass hers, I came second, and that's it. Everyone else came first, unless Zygon
did the Charisma even have like a ranking system?
It did.
Okay.
I'm assuming... No, the Slayer's Take wouldn't have been
It's number of jurors that you got.
How many did I get? Did I get them all?
You got 5.
Hell yeah.
Who was the GIF? It was the... Who was Starvane part of? What was that group?
He's the Clasp.
Yeah. The Clasp.
The Clasp for the 1 seed.
Let's talk about one thing real quick before we get too far into this, and before Zach has any questions to start off conversation for us.
Like Pop-Tarts, are they ravioli?
We're not doing this. Brady.
Yes.
What is the tome that you have that allows you to get the spells of wizards?
It is the Tome of the Stilled Tongue. It's actually the reason I ended up taking multi-classing and taking a class in Wizard, was to use that. And basically, I just need a tongue of a wizard, and I can like pin it to the cover. It's pretty hardcore. And I learn all the spells, or it has a list of all the spells that wizard knew, and I get a chance to use them.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick book.
There's only 6 in existence.
Yes.
Yeah.
But really cool book. Really awesome.
I forget how I got it. I had to roll a percentage dice.
Man, it was a while
Do you
back.
remember the haunted house?
Oh, was it
that's
really
right.
the haunted
Yeah.
house? That was really far back. That was before we started streaming.
That was like right before we started streaming, yeah.
That's also how we got our teleport stones, which currently
It is.
Zygon has one of them and his wife has the other one, or his daughter has.
Yeah,
the
I'm just hogging all of these hardcore magical items.
Honestly,
don't worry, you're not nearly as bad as Anzu.
I was gonna say, if we're gonna pick anyone who's hogging magical items, it's Anzu. It's
probably get those teleport stones back at some point though. I feel like we're gonna need them.
No, if they only teleport 2 people, then there's spells that I can use within one more level that I can end up.
Yeah, but what if you don't have the spell slot?
It's 6th level. I would hope to God I have the spell slot. I wouldn't use that unless I really need to in a fight. But Zach, let's go ahead and start off. What conversations do you have for us?
We'll start off with Jacob.
Give me questions, question daddy. I immediately regret that.
I regretted letting you on today because you said that.
I'm in a weird mood, guys.
Hey guys, we're gonna be back.
I was cool with it.
2 minutes.
We're firing Jacob from the stream.
That would make life really interesting. Just get rid of the DM halfway through.
Just have to rewrite the whole. All right, guys, we're back. This is the tournament. I don't know anyone's names, but you guys are gonna have to fight anyway. So.
Yeah, have fun.
So.
Okay, question.
how long have you been kind of working on the tournament and like the challenges?
Probably 2 months.
Is it coming together how you want it to?
I made one mistake, which irritated me. So Felix was supposed to participate in the strength test, and the Goliath was supposed to participate in the Constitution test, and I flipped them. But I think I can spin it kind of narrative wise, because the Slayers take didn't really care if they got in or not. It was more like it's kind of just a bunch of buddies who are getting together one last time, and Rosella, who they needed someone like her on their team. So it's just a bunch of buddies, because there's a tragic backstory there. But
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, what I'm really hoping to do with the tournament is kind of explore these other groups and kind of get the players to kind of participate more with other adventuring parties.
Like the bad venturing, the Thieves Guild, which is...
Excuse me, sir.
What are they called?
Who are you to say that the Clasp is bad?
Okay. The Clasp is not notoriously bad, but they're notoriously scandalous.
Gray. They're gray.
Yeah.
They're the epitome of true neutral.
I'm not saying they're bad, because Animus is going to have dinner with...
you murdered a lady.
That's true. I can't say much because my character is not exactly a good character. He's definitely...
Neither of you can. Both of you are warlocks.
I'm not
with demons.
It's hard to call Animus true neutral also. But like, I feel like he is pretty true neutral. He does good things. He does really good things.
I think he's trending really chaotic neutral, honestly.
Oh, he is chaotic for sure.
Just because I think he's on that cusp.
My feelings are all
My feelings are hard, man.
I mean, he is...
You don't know what it's like to be me.
Yes.
But, yeah, been working on the tournament for 2 months. I knew I wanted to do something that highlighted each member of the team's, like, key strength. In retrospect, it seems as though, while it may be a character's key strength, it's not necessarily a player's key strength. I'm not naming names. But riddles are hard.
For Hunter.
And like, I don't know. I wanted to make the more intellectual skills less dice based and more roleplay based. Also to kind of balance out because we have an audience now. So an audience is probably not going to be like, yeah, I just sat there for 3 hours and watched them roll dice, which is what happens when we fight. But I thought it would be kind of interesting, like the riddles for audience participation, the more intellectual based skills were more like an audience sort of involvement thing that I thought would work well.
How do you other two feel about the tournament so far?
I'm excited for it. I didn't really know what to expect going into the charisma challenge. To be honest, I didn't know if I was gonna have to like try and make out with somebody or something. But
that's what Rosella thought.
Yeah, right. But it ended up worked out. I'm excited to see what Jacob has in store. Lots of cool characters and stuff, and I'm looking forward to like actually like fighting some people.
Yeah,
good.
I really like the interactions we've been having. Like my favorite part so far is the fact that Jacob brought a lot of other groups into this, and that was kind of my favorite thing that I had taken away from like just even in the middle of the episode. I'm like, oh, this is really sick. Like we're seeing the Slayers take, like a bunch of these old members of the Slayers take who of course Braun is a Slayers take member, and all of us are technically supposed to be Slayers take. We just haven't been admitted yet, which is something we need to do before we leave him on, because there's a Slayers take in Vasselheim. But yeah, and then also like having a conversation with Felix during my Constitution thing, and having a conversation with the class member Starvane was really cool.
Starvane.
They're really cool conversations.
I love them.
I'll be having a conversation with Starvane probably before we do the fight next Sunday, or this Sunday. But yeah, I really like that we're getting to know the stories of these groups, and we didn't just go. I think this tournament would have been fun if he didn't do it. I think it's more fun that he added a lot more story than I thought he was going to. So
I just want to say, R.I.P. Goblin Team.
Goblin Team was not doing too hot. Kobolds.
I was like, I'm gonna make these guys, and I am not buffing their stats. Let's see what happens.
The kobolds
Didn't go
did
super well. The kobolds did well for a very, very specific reason.
Okay, we'll see that
Well,
later.
they're cheating, right?
They're not
Necessarily.
cheating.
Okay.
Natural ability is not cheating.
Hmm.
So they're drugged up. I see. Okay.
Good old performance enhancing drugs.
Yep.
Juice.
Well, Zach, what else do you have for us here?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, let's get into talking about the objectives themselves. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the way 3 of them. The first one being bronze. It was an acrobatics competition. He went across basically a bunch of like monkey bars to an obstacle course and had to swim through water with sharks. It was all role based. He did it perfectly as he does. And then Lochnar.
There were a few times where he was close to failing.
Yes, which is exactly what Jacob wanted. He made very high saves or high things that we had to save. And then we go into Lochnar's. His is a good example. He messed up once or twice, but he still came in first place. It was all role-based, and he basically had to run boulders back and forth to a pedestal. And then mine would be the last one. It was a Constitution-based. I am not a Constitution-based player, but because of my amulet, I had a +7 to my Constitution. Not as good as my +9 or +10, depending on what I'm doing, or +11, depending on what I'm doing with Wisdom. But someone had to do Constitution. And I ended up coming second, which I feel pretty good about. That was all role-based, and there were some rolls that I legitimately could not have saved because they were very, very high and out of my reach. I would have had to roll natural 20s, but that's how Jacob did it. It was really fun. It's more fun knowing that you don't really have a chance sometimes. And then we get
if you would have rolled natural 20s, that would have been insane, is the big thing. And, like,
yeah,
you were super close. Like, I think if you would have saved, like, one more,
yeah,
you probably would have tied.
I was literally, he had 6 health left. Basically, to explain to you guys, we got hit by magic throughout the period of a long period of time. And I just kept rolling. I was rolling 2d20 at a time, and I was adding 7 to each roll, and Jacob would say if I failed or succeeded. 4 other people dropped before me and the large GIF, which is a hippo person. And me and him, we already had some respect for each other, so we're going out to like have a conversation after this competition. But yeah, I had been taking the last saves I had to take. I had to beat a 20, a 22, a 24, 25, and a 27. And I only had a +7. So I actually ended up doing pretty well in that situation. I was rolling really well. But in the end, I did end up losing to him. And then, yeah, we get into the conversations about the Thea, which was the... Well, let's just start there. Thea had the Wisdom 1, Jacob. What do you want to tell us about that?
So the Wisdom one... The Wisdom one was by far the hardest one for me to design, because it's very, like, how can you tell if someone's wise? So this is kind of getting into the process. So I went through like 4 different iterations. My first idea was like having to solve a murder mystery, but I still like that idea, so that's going in the back pocket. But
Hell yeah.
I thought it would be a little long, because like it's essentially playing a game of Clue, which I thought about doing like this huge sprawling thing where they're like in a house, and it's essentially like I was essentially going to have Thea play a game of Clue, which I thought would have been fun, but like I said, keeping it in the back pocket. So then I was like, well, maybe they have to like use their insight to figure out like which like cup is correct, like in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And I was like, that one's a little, first of all, it's derivative, second of all, it's boring. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe they just have to play like 3-card Monty. And I was like, that's too boring. For those who don't know, 3-card Monty is there's a queen and then 2 other cards, and you have to figure out. They shuffle them around, and then you have to figure it out. And they're usually people who do that cheat you really, really hard. So never play 3-card Monty with a street person. And then I was just looking it up, and then I thought, well, what about like brain teaser, like ethics, sort of moral questions? And so I decided on the lying or the truth saying lying guard with the 2 doors. And the really sucky thing is Thea rolled an insight check and did not roll high enough to be able to tell if the guy was lying or not, which just happens sometimes. Sometimes the dice aren't friendly, but and it's just kind of a bummer because everyone else was a lot more straightforward. I think the only one that is comparable is probably Zygon's, which was 100% roleplay. That was it was 100%. Like if he would have just gone in and said, "I'm not doing this. This is stupid. You all suck," he would have failed.
Which was real close to happening until I decided that trying to deceive people was more of a Zygon move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, we can go ahead and jump into Zygon's. We'll jump past Hunter's real quick. His was 5 riddles, and it took Hunter a long time to get them. And
it took him almost 20 minutes, which is what I gave him in game for him to do.
It took Jacob and all of us giving him, Jacob giving him hints and all of us making random noises and going in.
To be fair, not bagging on Hunter, those riddles were pretty hard.
They were.
And like for someone who like doesn't do them often, it's hard to get your brain in that space
especially
to get them
done,
you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially being put on the spot in front of the whole group, much less everyone watching. So
so the map one I could not figure out.
The map one,
that one was my favorite.
The map
that one was my favorite by far.
I liked the map.
I also liked the 6-legged one. Yeah. Because I was hoping you guys would think, oh, it's some D&D monster. It's got to be some D&D monster. And I was like, no, it's a horse.
Well, let's go ahead and get into Zygon. So, Brady, you were given the question as Zygon. There was a judge and there's a jury, and the jury was randomized throughout the entire competition. So there was a large group of jury, and each person had their own jury to deal with. Mm-hmm. And there was a man who had stolen health potions enough to give his wife to be able to save her life because she was very sick. And you had to argue to save this man because this was also a real-world situation where the judge told you, hey, this is not just for the competition. If this guy gets sentenced today, he's being sentenced for real because he actually stole health potions. So Zygon gave an incredible testimony that sold it very well, saving the man's life. What do you want to say about that, Brady?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't know where I was gonna go with it. I was a little nervous about it, but I ended up trying to decide if I wanted to try and like intimidate and go after people. I was even considering like shapeshifting into my my like demon angel form thing, which I don't think that would have worked very well.
No,
so
probably
I ended
not.
up, yeah. And then so I decided I was just gonna go for it, and figured the most Zygon thing would be to try and get this criminal back out on the streets. And so I just tried to, as soon as I found out that his wife was a teacher, you know, because I got to ask a couple questions to this guy, and I was really just trying to figure out his backstory and why he did it, and it just kind of piled on from there. I was just trying to help out a good member of the community, and then I got to make myself cry on there, so that was good. I rolled high enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That could have been a big miss. And I was just kind of kept rolling with that, and I got to pull in the dad card about having a daughter. And just
that
trying
one,
to
I was
justify
like, gosh,
myself.
Holy cow, he's going hard. He's bringing up a daughter.
I thought your
That's right.
reason for helping him would have been more sanctioned towards the fact that if it was anyone else, I knew Zygon wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But with you're not newfound family, your newly found
Rediscovered family.
that you completely have forgotten all memories about.
Right.
Zygon, of all people, would only care about someone who was trying to save his family, and I was like, that's so fitting. So,
And it's getting kind of interesting because I'm also trying to play into this mall that I ended up getting from you with the corruption points, because corruption points are getting pretty high, and I have a feeling that it's going to make me more of an evil character, so I'm kind of trying to play into that, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to give that guy a drink out of my my jug whenever we were in that small township,
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, we are. I remember that mall. I remember reading what that mall did because I picked it up, and I read over it, and I really thought about it, and I was like, I'm gonna give this to Zygon because
That's the one with the two faces on
it's
it,
got
right?
two faces on it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know what it does when it hits full corruption. Only I technically should know, and I just don't remember. Like it was months ago. That's how close we were coming. It had like 112 points of corruption. How many points was it? 100?
It's
There's
100.
It was
just a
100
flat 100.
even. Okay. Yeah, so he had 100
Yeah,
points
so-
of corruption over every single day. He'd have to roll every single D&D day. He would have to roll a dice, and if he failed or succeeded, would be if he got a corruption point. And we've been through.
It's actually 2 corruption points every fail.
Oh, okay. We've been
Yeah.
through like 4 months, maybe 5 months of in-game since he's gotten that mall. So you can imagine how.
And
close
I've had
he
some
may-
bad rolls.
Yeah, you can imagine how close he may be.
Yeah, and to be fair, the card itself does not say what happens when you reach 100 corruption. It says "Ask me." So
And we're getting
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be.
But I'm taking it upon myself, just the fact that it is a corruption point. I feel like nothing,
Yeah.
no good will come of that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah, you never know.
we will be probably seeing that in chapter 2. So we'll go ahead and end this one out. We've got our in-person tabletop
6-hour extravaganza.
6-hour stream coming up this Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys can jump on and watch a few hours. If not, I will split it in half. It'll be a 2-part thing because I'm not going to be able to put a 6-hour video up on YouTube and think that
Not with that attitude.
people are going to watch 6 hours straight.
Hey, people watch the Cantina band from Star Wars for 10
Oh my
hours.
gosh.
Who
Uh,
wouldn't? Do you know what
Alright.
what the genre of music is that they play?
Jazz.
I do not.
I don't know.
No, you're close though, Zach. It's called jizz.
No. All right, and
It is.
and with
Look
that-
it up. It's 100% called
And
jizz.
with that, we're gonna go ahead and end this one off.
It's
tonight.
space jazz.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be streaming this Sunday. Hopefully it all goes well. We can see you guys, or we can see all of us in person, and we can all have a great time at the table.
Also,
together.
we are going to do all the COVID guidelines that our state is requiring. We're keeping social distance. We're doing all of it. So,
Yes.
we're going to be as safe as possible.
We're going to be as safe as possible within an enclosed space that we can be. So we will be spreading out 6 feet apart. None of us have COVID right now, so we should be good. If anyone is uncomfortable with that in our group, they will most likely be wearing a mask or just won't be there. But it looks like we're all good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Come check us out next week on our weekly recap because we will be recapping the Sunday episode that we have this week. So come watch our Sunday episode, and if you don't, come watch us next week. If you don't do either of those and you want to start chapter 2 off as like some of the first stuff you start watching of ours, please go watch the full recap of the entire chapter 1. Me and Jacob will be working on that. As soon as this Sunday ends, we're gonna start recording for that and going over that. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.